The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Yeah. NY born, NY built.
What is up, yo?
Vanilla
Happy
Gorilla,
Sunday,
Big Dog,
another Sunday
Untouchables.
with
Let's
your
go.
favorite
Step in the
hostess
ring like kings
with
of the block.
most.
Gorilla grip, big dog, never stop. Iron in the veins, no gimmicks, no props. This is hard work, black top and body slops. Ain't no flash, just fists and fake. We run through ropes like we run through
It can't be. This is crazy. And if nobody at home knows who this guy is, this is the big dog. He did get a tip from the Brooklyn Prodigies earlier on. They had travel issues, but not due to them being scared or anything like that. But oh my gosh, the Vanilla Gorilla and the Big Dog and the Untouchables just inserted themselves into this tag team.
Elbows harder than a steel trash can. One shot, knock them flat on sight. Two beasts bred for the spotlight fight. They can talk tough, bark loud all night. But in the ring, we bite and we bite right. We are untouchables, NY bred. Two fists swinging, leave legends dead. Joey bring the rage, Dave bring the brain. Together we storm like a runaway train. Untouchable, New York style. We don't tap, we make them snap.
Yo, what is up? What is up? Happy Sunday, happy fun day. We are here at Turnbuckles and Stogies.
Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, whenever you guys see this.
Yes, we are here with our special guest of the week, Mr. Jon Huber. John.
Got it. Nailed it. How was it, boys? That was a hell of an intro, man. That was really good.
Thank you. That's our new intro. Our producer in Colorado created. I think he created what, November?
Yeah.
So
who recorded the audio?
after-
Who's doing the rap and everything?
He did that with AI. He wrote the lyrics.
Oh my God! Really?
He wrote the
Wow.
lyrics and
Okay.
he put it in AI, and he sent it to me and goes, "Listen, I created you guys a new song. I don't know if you're gonna like it." I was like, "Okay." He goes, "So should I send it to you?" I'm like, "Absolutely." He sent it to me, and I listened to it, and I'm like, "Dude, I'm like, you got something here."
That's crazy. AI has taken over the world, man.
Listen,
I love it and I hate it at the same time, to be honest.
I know. It's
like
it's came up with some very cool logos for us to help like promote the shows and kind of like take both logos and mush them and mash them together. It kind of looks cool.
Right.
And then there's stuff like that I'm like, that's even cooler. And you get something like you said, then there's the downside of it, and it's just like
the downside's killing everybody's creativity. It's killing jobs and stuff like that. But
it is.
The good news is AI will never be able to roll a cigar. So there's a little job security there.
That is true. I mean, you can use AI. I've seen people create AI cigar bands.
Oh yeah, I can spot it a million miles away though, for sure. And
Usually you can.
Yeah, I can. I can totally tell.
Have you actually ran into that at all since?
So the guy that I work with on hat design, on the hat design front, over the weekend sent me a bunch of like, hey, what do you think of this for hats? And it was like all these different, like 3 different layouts. And my immediate reaction, I texted him back, said, somebody's been having fun with AI, huh? And he wrote back, ha ha ha, LOL, what do you think? And I'm like, so you could take some elements of it and then flip. He goes, we meaning the hat company, have been using AI to design and come up with design ideas for people that don't know how to design on their own.
Right.
I mean, I don't have that issue. I'd rather keep it authentic and design our own stuff. So, I mean, but I could tell as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, you've been having fun with AI, huh? So
sometimes the AI designs, like you said, they're really nice. And then you get people that are just having too much fun. And it's like you said, you can kind of tell right away. And it's like, all right, if you toned it down a little bit, maybe you'd have something. But when you start going kind of, like you said, extravagant AI and you're doing all kinds of different things, it's like, well, now you've gotten away from what we've always had it.
Yeah. It'll settle down. People will get their kicks out of it and they'll settle down, and people will use it for certain portions of creation, and then others that, they'll take bits and pieces from it. But to just take something completely and say, like, you know, hey, Gronk or whatever that app is, design a Crown Heads hat or design a Crown Heads band. No, it doesn't look right. It doesn't come out right. So
I've noticed you've come out with a lot of cool hats lately. You have the Moonflower one that you have on. Then you have I call it like the racing one, that yellow with the gold.
Oh, the premium hat. Well, it started off as premium, but it's a riff off of the F1 podium hat, and it says Crowned on it. Yeah. I mean, we're constantly trying to come up with stuff. I mean, I'm not trying. I am.
Right.
Usually I'll try to have like two drops per month, brand new designs. I got a bunch of stuff in the queue right now. Moonflower hats, we gave them out at the PCA show when we launched the brand. And then we had half of the production here. I put it online for purchase, and they sold out like in 3 hours.
And now you can buy them on your website, right?
Not anymore. They sold out in 3 hours.
When they go up, that you can get them on the website, right?
Yeah, when the hats drop, which I announce all the drops on my Instagram. When they drop, then they're available until they're not available. So
let's get to the elephant in the room here.
Sure.
Why can't we find any Moonflower?
Oh, I know. Everybody I went to order some, because I'm like, let me see if I can order some. Everybody says like back ordered or sold out, and I'm like, wow.
I think the online guys put back ordered because they're taking pre-orders. We haven't shipped any Moonflower out, so there's no elephant in the room. It's just there's no Moonflower.
Okay, no, so because that makes sense. Because I'd read a comment on, I think it was Neptune or somewhere yesterday, and it said back ordered, and somebody said, do you know when you're going to get some in, or when you're going to have them, whatever, or when they'll be back in? And they had said early May, and I'm like, oh,
early May. No,
yeah, I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, and I looked, I'm like, well, we're towards the end now. I'm like, maybe they sold out. I'm like, maybe that's the whole thing.
I would think the same thing if I was you. I see the confusion. No, we when we dropped it, announced it, whatever, at PCA in the middle of April, the goal was to ship it in May. And we had, on our side, met all our deadlines, checked all our boxes. On the Garcia side as well, at the factory level, there was a delay with the materials, meaning the rings, the shelf talkers. That set us back a little bit. And then now everything's packed and ready to go. We got the entire first production ready to ship. And I've been checking in with the Garcias every other day. And their hiccup, their snag now is customs clearance. They can't get their customs agency to sort this out so we can get it on a plane and ship it. That said, hopefully they're even going to try to go to a different customs clearance agency down there. So
let me ask you a question, John. So
yeah,
being a distributor and a cigar roller and a cigar maker and all of that, how hard is it to get your cigars to go through customs?
I don't deal with any of that. We have agencies that deal with it. So in Nicaragua, they have an agency on their end. And then when we land here, we have another agency that we pay to clear it and then put it on a freight forwarder and get it over to here. So we just pay money for it. That's all, a lot of money. So it's just another part of the machine that you got to keep going. So anyway, the long story short, we have not received or shipped out any Moonflower, and we're anticipating getting it out there, hopefully at least getting it shipped from Nicaragua sometime in the next week.
Okay.
Everybody's just on a holding pattern waiting for this customs thing to free up. On the other side of it, Bob's family had a release called Americana coming out of their Honduras location, my father. That left yesterday. They had no problems with Honduras. So that shipped, and it should be in Nashville tomorrow, and then we'll probably land here at our warehouse early to mid next week, which will probably, depending upon what happens with the stuff coming out of Nicaragua, we'll either start shipping that immediately or we'll just hold it and so we can ship everything all together. So
and
it's always
so
like
they get all of
their juggling act, man.
So how did the pre-sale or the release go at PCA for the Moonflower?
Fucking brilliant, man. It exceeded my expectations, honestly. Like typically, like, to kind of frame it up, like last year when we dropped Broadway and the rebrand, we had ordered 500 boxes of each size of Broadway, 3 sizes. and we came close to selling them out, but I think we sold out maybe 85% at the show. This year, I knew that Moonflower was going to hit, so we almost doubled it. We said, okay, let's pre-order 800 boxes of each. We oversold the 800 boxes of each.
Wow. Shit.
So, yeah, so that's how good it went.
God.
Yeah,
So,
I know, nuts.
So you're doing really good with the Moonflower.
It hasn't hit the shelves yet, but I mean,
right?
You know,
but I'm
from
saying,
what people
like,
saw and smoked, yeah.
What about your Tennessee whiskey?
He means Tennessee Waltz and stuff like that with the rebrand.
With the rebrand.
There's not a single box of Waltz on the shelf. We're sold out. There's not a single box of Jericho Hill on the shelf. Sold out. Not a single box of La Imperios on the shelf. Sold out. Everything that we rebranded has just been flying. Absolutely flying.
That Jericho Hill, man, bro. We get those for like $8.
Oh, that's the original runs.
And those are freaking
the original runs of the Jericho Hills. The box press with just a very small label, as I call it.
Yeah. That was before we rebranded it. It's the same blend. I mean, we haven't changed anything since we released it in 2014. But now that we rebranded, it's getting more eyes on the product, more encouraging trial. People are smoking, going, "Oh my God, what is this? This is so fucking good." That's the poor man's Padron, what we called it.
So let me ask you this question. So how does it, like, for the Jericho Hill? Let's take Jericho Hill. Like you said, it's a poor man's Padron.
That's what I nicknamed it.
Right.
Which, by the way, for the price, it's probably one of the best cigars out there.
So to do that, how does it feel to know that you're selling out of all of this stuff? Like, you can't even go in your shop and say, I want a Jericho Hill.
It feels good and it feels bad at the same time, because it feels good that people are, connecting with the product, buying it, selling out. Feels bad because we can't keep up with the demand. And so that means people get impatient with their orders. We had some guy yesterday, like, "Where's my PCA order?" Like, dude, I mean, we're doing everything we can to get it out there. It's just, this situation happens all the time in this industry. If it's not material delays, it's custom delays, it's this, that, or the other. The good news is
it's also out of your control too. And I think that's what a lot of retailers, don't understand or they miss, is the fact that it is, when it comes to stuff like that, that's stuff that you personally can't control.
100%. But, they don't understand it, or they don't care to understand it. Like, it's your problem, not mine. Where's my product?
Right.
So it feels good and bad at the same time. I mean, it's better than the alternative of just having hundreds of boxes of something laying there, no orders coming in.
Right.
But knock on wood, we haven't been faced with that for sure.
Well, damn, bro, I gotta say, John, we've known each other 2 years, if that 3 years, and every time Joey texted you about something, you got back to him within 24 hours. And
I try to. Although this last round, I've been a bit bad about it.
And I understand.
That box of 2025 Las Calaveras was fantastic.
Yes, it was. It was great, by the way.
Smoked through that entire box.
Much. I appreciate that.
That's the one I bought from that I caught on sale on Atlantic. I bought the Robusto Gordo, the 5x56.
56, yeah.
Oh, that was a phenomenal cigar.
This is usually the time of year where we start to announce, or at least build up to the announcement of Las Calaveras, but there will be no Las Calaveras this year, so we're taking a year off.
I mean, you said, you're doing the release of the Moonflower. You rebranded everything this year. You did a lot in 1 year. You don't want to overload the market.
No, we don't. Absolutely not. Plus, Las Calaveras has always been a monster for us. It's always been our number one in terms of money makers. Las Calaveras is like huge. Even though people see it as an LE, the production that we've been doing would make a lot of smaller companies happy with an annual production. We just happen to sell it out like in 3 or 4 weeks, sometimes hours.
Right.
And I just felt like after 25, I'm like, man, I'm just kind of burned out on the whole theme, and I'm burned out on the idea, and I don't want to bastardize it and just come up with a different color band or whatever. So I'm like, let's just and let's put it on hold for the first time since 2014, actually, because we've done it every year, including the pandemic year since 14. And this year I said, no, let's just let it breathe for a minute before we kill the goose.
No, John, that's a smart thing because some people, like, they just go and rebrand stuff and things like that. Everybody's like, oh, I'm smoking this. I said, bro, I got like those in my collection. Like, it's not nothing. It's the same cigar, just a different wrapper. No, it's not. No. Okay, it is. You're right.
I will add to the sentence, even though we're taking Calaveras off, I did plan last year to reintroduce and re-release something that we did 2 years ago for our 10th anniversary of Calaveras. It's called Decimo Aniversario, which was the original blend of the 2014. We did that in a 2,500 10 counts back in 2024. Thing just ripped. It flew off the shelf. I said, all right, instead of doing Calaveras, let's bring back the Decimo blend, which is the OG, and we're going to do that in 3 different sizes. That'll be dropping probably like around July.
Okay.
So it won't be the levels of production that Las Calaveras is. Instead of like 120,000 cigars, this will be like closer to like 72,000 cigars, something like that.
Okay.
So.
I mean, I heard great things about that blend. I mean, I watched it fly off the shelves.
Yes, we did.
Most shops, they got them in and they went right out the door.
Yeah. I had a lot of feedback, especially from retail tobacconists, like, hey, why don't you do the Decimo again? I'm like, let me catch my breath. And so, then I started thinking after last year to take the year off of Calaveras and let's plug in Decimo in 3 different sizes. So it's always something, man.
Okay. Hey, you know what? At least you have the ability to plug and play.
John, how does it feel to know that you can decide what comes out, when it comes out, and how it comes out?
I don't know any other way to do it. It is stressful. You're right. It's stressful. It's a lot of pressure, but no pressure, no diamonds, So I've just kind of gotten used to it over the years because that's always been, when we started out with just 4 kicks, or like now I'm juggling shit all over the place. It's just been the only way to do it. So my only way I know how. But I don't really get consumed with the pressure. I just look at it like, okay, I'm fortunate and blessed to be able to do this. It's fun. I get to create, and I work with some really great factories. So don't bitch about it, because there's a lot of other people that would like to do what I do.
So tell us, and I'm sure we went through this the first time you were on.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us how you got into starting your cigars.
How I got into cigars in general, like what got me in the business kind of a thing, or just Crown Heads, or what? Like
however you want to put it.
I was a cigar geek, man, back in the mid 90s. I just fell in love with cigars, and I was at a turning point in my life where I just wanted to do something that I loved instead of having to go to work and hate what I do. And I had a lot of shitty jobs at the time that I'd gone through. Fell in love with cigars, and I was like, this is what I want to do. How do I get in? There was no DMs, there was no social media. It was like you had a phone and write a letter. That was it, kind of a thing. And I got in the business that way. That's what got me into it. And then I cut my teeth with CAO. CAO is where I worked from 96 to 2010. I was like my undergrad degree. And then I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to start Crown Heads. That's a real cool, condensed version.
That's cool, though. I mean, to come up with a name called Crown Heads and everybody loves your cigars.
Thank you.
Fucking amazing, because me and Joey go to different lounges throughout New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and all over.
And if they don't carry a lot of your stuff,
I say, how come you don't have this?
Normally, well, so if they don't carry a lot of the stuff, they normally carry the Juarez at the very least.
Yeah, that's like the value.
Carry the Juarez.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, well, at least you have something I know I'm going to enjoy.
Juarez has been an interesting case study, because that whole blend started off because our distributor in Germany, I'm going back to like 2017 or something. They wanted me to do an exclusive just for Germany. So I kept sending them samples. and they kept rejecting them. I'm like, finally, I'm like, what the fuck is it that you want? And they're like, I want dark, I want this, I want this, I want heavy. I'm like, okay, fine. I had that. I came up with that blend, sent it to them. They're like, nah. I'm like, all right, fuck all y'all. We're gonna just keep this, and I've got it in my back pockets. And then,
right,
a month or two later, my business partner at the time, my Condor, says, hey, I got a call from Thompson Cigar Company that they've since been bought out by somebody. I can't remember who it was. And they want you to do a catalog exclusive. I said, okay, I got the perfect thing. And I had that blend. And so I came up with the branding of it and this, that, and the other, and gave it to them as an exclusive. Well, 6 months went by and they didn't do shit with it. They just sat on it. And I'm like, we were going to the trade show. I think it was in 2019 maybe. And Condor says, hey, is there anything else we could take to the trade show? We just to pat it a little bit. I'm like, look, why don't we fucking take Juarez and turn it loose and see what happens? No sales sheet, no collateral, just open some boxes, hand out the cigars, tell the people how much it costs, and take orders. Okay. So that's what we did. And we just said, fuck it. We didn't have anything signed. You guys sat on it in the warehouse for 6 months and didn't do anything with it. Right. And it took off. And that was fucking 7 years ago. And it's always been, it's always been a consistent seller, top 4 or 5 brands, that kind of a thing. So
listen, Juarez is a great cigar. I fucking
thank
love
you.
It. And not because you're on here, but because it's a cigar. It's a poor man, and I hate to say it, it's a poor man's high. That's what it is. I can go to a cigar shop.
It's an everyday cigar.
It's an everyday cigar.
If you like that kind
grass, I can sit here and smoke.
Not only that, you have to enjoy that kind of. You have to enjoy that kind of feel. That fuller body experience in order to really enjoy that Juarez for what it is.
Correct.
Right.
And if you,
you can take the band off of those things and give it to somebody, and they'd be like, "Oh, it's a $9 to $12 cigar." But we've kept it down to like 7, so 7 to 9. So
now, when you did that, how did Thompson react to that?
There was whatever, because there was no signed agreement. We were just like, "Hey, you fucking had your run at it. You didn't do anything with it."
Right.
And then I think it just got lost in the shuffle, and then they got bought out by somebody. I can't remember who it was. So it's all history now. But now, and then since Juarez, we came out with another value prop last year, like in November, called Thunder Kiss.
Oh my God, that was great.
So Thunder Kiss was even I think a better value prop than Juarez. I mean, it smokes great.
Oh, and I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, and the SRP on that's like $675.
Yeah, I bought that one bundle from Creekside.
Mm-hmm.
I got halfway through it. I was almost done. I placed an order for 2 more, and I couldn't figure out why my order wasn't shipping. I'm like, finally, I messaged them, and I'm like, hey, I placed an order. I'm like, it still says that a label was created.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know if it got lost, whatever. And the guys over there were very helpful. They're like, listen, we don't even have it. It shouldn't have even been, been able to be sold to you. He was like, I don't know when we're getting it back in. He's like, but he refunded me. He took care of me. He's like, when it comes back, I'll send you an email. This way you can replace your order. Their customer service is absolutely.
I love working with impeccable. Those guys.
And I noticed you just did a release of the Broadway with them as well.
Yeah, we did an exclusive size. Really, that was inspired by their Discord. They have a Discord group, and when Dave Ember was down here on one of his visits, he said, "Hey, I want you to join our Discord." And I'm like, I didn't know what Discord was. Mm-hmm. I had no idea. I joined it, and I interacted a little bit, and then one day, God, I don't even remember when it was. It was months ago. Somebody said, "Hey, we love Broadway. We want it in a Corona." And as easy as that was, I just started texting Dave. I said, "Do you want to do this?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's get some samples and let's do it." And So we went back and forth. Said, "Okay, 5x44. Let's do a closed foot." Got the samples. I said, "Are you ready for your Disc Corona?" I kind of nicknamed it because it came from Discord and it was a Corona. So I said Disc Corona. And that cigar came out phenomenal, bro. It's just like unbelievable.
That's next on my list. I'm like, I got to order that. I got to reorder the Thunder Kiss. I said, because I'm completely out. I've been out since that pack was gone.
Just the Discorona was so good. Like it all went to Creekside, and I think the original production was 350 bundles. And last time I talked to Dave, they'd sold 320 already. And that was like in the first few days. So I don't even know if they have any left. But I said, damn, I missed that cigar. So he ended up sending me 3 bundles and pretty much smoked through all of them. I'm just keeping one for the archives. But
right.
I didn't even get a chance to smoke it. It flew. And that was a fun project. And it was a really freaking good cigar.
Now, is that something they're going to be carrying all the time? Or was that just kind of like a one-off limited?
I've left the door open to them. I said, look, this would be your size, your project, your whatever in perpetuity. Whenever you want to reorder, just say yes. And so that's why he never marketed it as a limited edition. He says, otherwise it would have sold out in like an hour. But he said, it's just, this is the first run of it. So that's up to them when they bring it back.
I think too, I feel like when it comes to stuff like that, I feel like they don't, like you said, they don't market it as a limited edition, because if it does sell and then you decide to bring it back, those people that paid the limited edition price are going to be like, oh, well, I paid this and now it's only this price, and it was a limited run and I bought 10 bundles and now I'm just going to sit on them because you have, then it becomes kind of a customer. Oh, well, you know what? I spent all this money and now they're bringing it back. I could have just waited and this and that. So it's a good thing the door is open for it, because like you said, they sold 320 bundles in a matter of weeks.
Like days, actually, really. And the rest of them are just in store right now. I don't even know if they have it online yet or not, or if it's still online. But those guys, I love working with Creekside. They're just a great group of guys, and their customer service is second to none. But they're going back to the Thunder Kiss thing. They're the reason why Thunder Kiss, or a big reason why it blew up, because my whole plan, I'd been working on Thunder Kiss for most of 25. And then I had it in the office like in October, November. And I told our VP of sales, Miguel, I said, look, we're just going to, I don't want to do a press release. I don't want to make a big splash.
Right.
I just want to send samples of this to the guys when they go to the store, let them smoke it with somebody. No pressure. If you like it, here's the price, kind of a thing. It was going to be a very soft, organic launch. Well, Creekside boys were down to shoot a podcast in our warehouse, and Dave was snooping around. He noticed, he's like, oh man, you got Thunder Kiss in. I'm like, yeah. Do you mind if I talk about it on the pod? I'm like, no, go ahead. By the time he left, he had smoked it, and he pre-ordered like 50 bundles. And he said by the time he got back to Ohio, they were sold out. Ordered another 100. Those were sold out. So it just kind of caught fire because of that podcast. And it couldn't have worked out any better. My whole thing was like, hey, this is a regular production thing we're doing for everybody. It's open to everybody. It's not a limited edition. It's just a value proposition for people that want a really good cigar for less than $7. And here it is. And we've done phenomenally well.
It's one of those, like the Juarez, you can take the band off and people will tell you that's a $9 to $12 cigar.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the way
it really is.
That first day I got them, I opened it right. I didn't even wait. Like normally people are like, oh, you got to wait 24 hours, or some people wait a month. I'm like, no. I'm like, if they're shipped properly with the proper humidification, I'm like, you should be able to get that order, go like this with a knife if you have to open it, and just start smoking.
Agreed.
I'm like, that's how they're meant to be when you get them.
And
100%.
Your cigars, when you send them to us, they're always humidified. Always.
Right. And no matter, and I think that too is a testament to, the places that ship them. Because like I was on the phone with somebody the other day, and we were talking about some of the stuff that we're working on and getting. We did a deal with a broker who's actually trying to help us get our own cigars out there. He's kind of handling everything.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a licensing thing. He's collecting all the money. We're just collecting, the profits and fee off of it.
Kind of a high price.
We were talking about bring it back to kind of the shipping process, and everybody's like, why is it so high? I said, because, I got to pay for the bags they're shipped in to properly ship, the proper humidification, so that when you get them, you can open that bag, pull that cigar out, and start smoking.
Right.
I'm like, pay for the proper shipping boxes. I'm like, and I'm not doing any of this. I said, this guy has his own shipping system. He's got his own everything. I said, so, they're like, yeah. And I understood like the price was high. I kind of knew that going into it.
Mm-hmm.
I said, it's the way he does it that's the only reason it's a little higher. I said, and ironically, the factory they're coming out of is the Pichardo factory.
Oh, right on.
He's got a relationship with those guys.
I validate that 100%.
He's like, you heard of them? And I'm like, the name sounds familiar. And then he goes, they made stuff for crown heads. I'm like, oh, okay. Because you hear all these different factories, and I'm like, I know the name, I can't place it. That's who he had done his cigars with.
The problem with Pichardo is he's changed names so many times. Like when I'm sending a press release that involves him to Half Wheel, it's like Charlie will always text me back like, okay, what's the name this week? It's become a running joke because they went from like Pichardo Cigars to Takanixa to there was another name in the mix, and they went back to Takanixa, then they went back to Pichardo Cigar. It was just like there's no continuity to it. But Horacio Pichardo is the gentleman that runs that factory, and he's a Cuban expatriate. He's a fantastic blender, great guy. They make Mil Diaz, Maduro, Juarez, Thunderkiss. Am I leaving anything out? No. Yeah, those are the brands that we make with them.
So he had wanted us. The guy was like, "Well, we can do your own brand." I'm like, "Well, listen, here's the thing," and I was like, I laid everything out. I'm like, if I'm gonna white label a project, I said I want to taste it before I do it.
Of course.
I said, because I've seen people that have white labeled, I said, and I get the cigars because they want us to try them. I'm like, and they're a dog rocket, I'd rather throw out the window.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I don't mind doing it, but I want to test them. And then we tested a Habano and a Maduro, and I'm like, and they were Robusto and Toro size, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what we want to do. We smoked the cigars that the guy did, and then he sent us samples of, I think it was along the lines of something he, like the ones he had sent us, but just tweaked a little bit. And I was like, we smoked them. I'm like, all right, for the first release, that's what we're going to do, whatever. But the pricing, because the pricing is higher, we have like feelers, but people are not really, biting. And I'm like, it is what it is. And the guy's like, how's it going? I'm like, listen, nothing yet, but that's okay. I said, we don't let it bother us. We just pull it back, go back to the drawing board and figure something else out.
Well, making the cigar is one thing. And there's the next level is like, how do you get people to try the cigar?
Right.
Because if the product's good, the product will speak for itself, but you got to encourage sampling. You got to encourage trial. How do you stand out on the shelf? And there's a myriad of things. It's like people think, oh, you just come up with a blend, throw a band on it, and you're going to make $1 million. And it's not that easy. There's a lot of different layers to the business. Making a great cigar is just one component, really.
Right.
But I can tell you that whatever you validate with Horacio, you're going to get it consistently. His consistency, his quality control is fantastic. Like I said, those are the brands. We also make blood medicine with him, Belgian Blue. I mean, he's been a joy to work
Belgian
with.
Blue is very good as well. I actually had the opportunity to smoke that. The other one that was good, I think somebody had given it to me. When I got it in one of those, I got it in one of those, I think it was one of those Secret Santas or something. Somebody had sent it to me. The one that I really enjoyed that I actually had gotten my hands on quite a bit was the La Crema.
La Crema, we discontinued that.
Yeah, that was, I had the, I think it was the Toro size. That was a great smoke.
What was that? I'm sorry, you guys. I had to look at something real quick. Why did it discontinue that? Because that particular cigar made at Casa Carrillo, we've historically had peaks and valleys getting the proper Connecticut broadleaf wrappers for that cigar through Ernesto Perez Carrillo. Like he would, like literally one year he'd be like, okay, you can't have any broadleaf. I'm like, what? Okay, so now all of a sudden we're like on back order for that product. So it was never a consistent supply on the broadleaf, and then the prices were going crazy. And we already had so Broadway is broadleaf, Waltz is broadleaf, Mil Diaz Maduro is broadleaf. I didn't need 4 broadleaf cigars in the portfolio, so one had to go, and it was a hard decision, but not that hard because that was the one that we had the most issues getting on a consistent basis.
That's understandable. Why have 5 broadleafs if you don't need them?
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah.
So let's take a quick little commercial break,
and we'll be right back.
And then we'll come back
with Mr. Jon Huber. Yo, what is up? What is up? We are back. I am the big dog. That is the Vanilla Gorilla. And we are here with Jon Huber. You got to excuse him. He's a very, very busy man.
And we appreciate the time he took out of his day to sit with us.
My pleasure.
So, Jon, let's kick into the Moonflower. Go ahead, bud.
Now, I know the Moonflower, you did your videos on Instagram talking about the different sizes. For everybody that didn't see, what are the different sizes? And if you can disclose what's the blend and kind of course, how did you come up with it?
Sizes, there's a Corona Gorda 6x46. 46 is my favorite ring gauge, so I had to put it in there. It smokes my favorite of the three. The Robusto is a 552, and then Toro is a 654. Not my favorite, but it's our number one selling SKU across the board, so I had to put it in there. The blend is it's a Corojo wrapper from Nicaragua. The binder is a double binder, also from Nicaragua. There's a Jalapa and Esteli on the binder, and then the filler is all Nicaraguan as well. You've got Jalapa, Esteli, and Condega. So essentially, you're looking at 100% Nicaraguan puro. The blend is a riff off of a cigar we did with the Garcias back in 2015-16 called Las Mareas, which I thought at the time was one of the best things we'd ever put out. And for whatever reason, it didn't get traction, so we discontinued it pretty quickly. But there was a cult following for Mareas. I kept seeing and getting messages, bring back Mareas. So I started, that was the jumping off point of the blend. We modded it a little bit to make it a little bit sweeter, richer, less sharp. And that's Moonflower, man. That's it. And so that's the blend inspiration and the Tolas. The brand inspiration, Moonflower, is something that it's kind of like an homage to my wife, because when I first started dating her back in 2010, she was gardening and she had these things called moonflowers. I'd never seen what a moonflower was until I met her. And she explained to me it's a night bloom, meaning it only opens, the flower opens up at night. And then it folds back. Yeah, it folds back during the day. And then I started researching it more. And I learned that it's kind of become a symbol for like overcoming dark times and challenging times. And anyway, along the years, it became something that was important to our relationship. And then about, I think 4 years ago, I had 2 moonflowers tattooed on my hand, one for her, one for me. So it's always meant something special to me. And so when I needed a brand inspo for this blend, I was like, hey, I'm gonna call it Moonflower. I think this is pretty cool. So that's where I came from.
And now, awesome. How'd you come up with the colors for it? Because I know usually the colors have something to do with the blending or the branding. How did you come up with that light blue and dark blue kind of color band?
So I've been working for like 2 years now with a gentleman in the Dominican. His name's Juan Carlos Fondier. He's the one that I worked with on the rebrand. He's the one I worked with on Broadway. And so what we've done together, we've worked a lot of hours together. So now what we do is I'll come up to him and I'll say, okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's the brand inspiration. Here's the mood board. And I sent him pictures of moonflowers. I sent him all of these things about moonflowers. I sent him the blend, all of that. And he's the one that came back with that colorway and that scheme, and that the bands are just like phenomenal. They're something you really need to see in person. Like everything I put on social media is one thing, but when you see it in person and you kind of rotate the cigar, and it's just like, oh my God, this is gorgeous.
I'm looking forward to having it in my hand with the band, because I've even told you through Instagram the band color is,
it really pops.
It
really does. It's beautiful. In fact, this was the first time I think ever that Rydog, who prints the bands in Holland, that they used a material is called, was it Erodium or something like that? And that's what took so long, because they didn't know if it was going to work. And then they kept doing trial after trial with it to make it, and then it came out phenomenally well. And so when you see the band, it's like you look closely and there's almost like a holographic image of the moonflowers behind the logo and everything. Cool. It's pretty cool. I couldn't have been happier with how it turned out. We were already working on 27 now. So I left PCA last month. And I got the project that I wanted, the blend that I wanted, green lighted with the Garcias. And then I right away went right back to Juan Carlos. I said, okay, I got 27. I'm going to send you the mood board. I'm going to send you the information. I'm going to send you what I see and everything. And so we're about 50% of the way there.
That's good.
Yeah, you have to.
How is it a gentleman like you sits there and goes, hey, I think I want to make this, but I need a test. How does that work? Like, I don't understand. Like, I understand how to test the cigars, but like, how do you come up with like all of this stuff in your head?
I don't know. It's just, I mean, I'll wake up and just have an idea, and I'll it just kind of comes to me, man. To be honest with you, like it could be simple, stupid stuff. Like yesterday, I pulled up a mock-up of a hat that I'm working on, and one of my reps was right over my shoulder, and he's like, "Oh my God, I love that." I'm like, "Yeah, it's pretty cool, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I said, "It literally came to me 2 nights ago at like 3 in the morning. I woke up and go, oh, that works." And then I sent the idea the next morning to my designer and sent me the layout. So it just comes, like,
That's
I don't know.
And
It's,
I think with cigars too, like you said, also not only with your stuff having like you said, the hat people, the band people, I think having the proper cigar factory as well. That, like you said, if you have a blend at like 3 o'clock in the morning, you can even just shoot them a text like, "Hey, here's what I'm thinking. Can you make me something?" And I think that's a testament to your relationship with the factory, but also with the rollers and blenders as well, that they're able to take, either notes or, a wrapper or kind of all the different things you're looking for and make that into what essentially you're testing and eventually becomes the final product.
And not only that, so let me ask you this. How often do you go to Nicaragua and DR and all of that?
I don't. Not anymore. I mean, before COVID hit, early on in the formation of Crown Heads, I was going down there probably 4 or 5 times a year. And then about 5 years ago, my father-in-law had a massive stroke and literally just changed our life. My wife and I, we live about 8 miles from them. So we became the primary caregivers for him and her mother. And to this day, my wife is the primary caregiver really for them. And so a lot of her time and energy is pulled off to manage that household. So, for the first 2 years, I canceled all my travel. I didn't do anything. I didn't go to the sales meeting. I didn't go to the factories. So now I'm at a point where I don't need to go to the factory. I know what I'm doing. I don't need to be there to micromanage a blend. I can just say, okay, hey, look, send me this, and then let's try it, and then I'll get it, and then I'll be like, oh, you know what, it's a little sharp. Let's swap off a leaf of jalapa for this or whatever, And I mean, that's how Broadway came about. Like, I had Le Patissier already as a regular production brand, and I wanted it a little stronger. I said, let's change one leaf. I mean, I know enough. I know enough of the ingredients in the cabinet that I know what it's going to taste. So I don't, people that say, oh, you got to be down in the factory. I'm not 100% sure about that. I don't think those guys are great at what they do. I don't think they need you peeking over their shoulder to do it any better.
Just like even they say with Jonathan Drew, he don't smoke cigars. Jonathan's been on Instagram posting up him smoking his cigars
when you
and things like that. And I laugh because they say I said he does smoke, but after a while, you got to take a break because it kills your palate.
Just by the nature of my lifestyle, I don't smoke on the weekends because I'm home. When I'm home, I try to shut all this off. I don't go on Instagram constantly. I don't work on works. And, there's exceptions. But for the most part, when I'm home, especially on the weekends, I'm like, I want to be with my wife, my daughter, and just kind of focus on that. So I don't smoke. So it's a good little kind of pause button. Then I come back on Monday and I'm back to the 4 to 5 cigars a day, testing blends, testing, everything I get is like, this is my homework here. I got bundle after bundle after blend after blend. And
I mean, feel free to send some to me. I'll test them and let you know.
I appreciate that. I never put that on anybody because everybody says the same thing, but I like it to be like, if it succeeds, great. If it fails, it's on me.
Right.
I don't want anybody else taking the falling.
You don't want that judgment of something that may not be where you want it yet.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of know. You do this long enough, It's like, if you work in the music business long enough, you hear a single, you don't need to know how to play guitar and work a soundboard. You can just you hear it and So yeah, I don't go down to the factory as much. I would love to go down to the factory. I mean, that's the one part I've had to sacrifice that I really miss about the business, because when I was going down there, those are my best memories of the industry, is going down there and just being with the people and just going to the farms and things like that. I miss that. I've had to sacrifice it to support my wife and her challenges, and that's just something I've had to let go of. Like I don't miss doing the in stores and all that, but I do miss going to the factory.
Speaking of going down there, so like we've been trying to put my cigars out for like 5 years, 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
My wife got sick. She was on life support and everything else, and I had to cut everything off. Like I cut everything. I didn't do a damn thing on it.
Well, I will say with the cigars though, it kind of helped us because, like when we first started doing it, I was only looking at. We were working with a guy over here that has his own rollers. I think he owns his own factory, if I remember correctly. And I was only looking at 60 ring gauge cigars. Like a Barber Pole 60 ring and a Maduro 60 ring, and I was handing them out to people. I'm like, yo, see, let me know what you think, whatever. He had Robustos, and then I think kind of, like he was saying to play off of that, with my mom getting sick and having to put everything on hold for, that 3-4 years, whatever it was, it kind of gave us time to really sit back and smoke, the different sizes and try different blends from different people and really, hone in on what we're looking for. And again, kind of learn from people like you, like Rick, like Matt Booth and people like that to see what actually sells.
Right.
Because I learned over this time that in a lot of markets or universally really, Robusto and Toros are kind of the number one sellers.
Correct.
Probably more so the Toro. One thing is like what you enjoy to smoke and what sells sometimes don't line up. I mean, like for instance, like I know that 60 ring gauges actually sell. I don't enjoy them. So I ethically and with any kind of integrity, I can't get behind a 60 because it's going to sell. What I like to smoke is usually between the 42 and 48 ring gauge. And initially I focused pretty heavy in that lane. And then you realize, okay, it's just not me. I got to feed the beast. I got to take care of these people. I got to pay this salary, that salary, these health benefits, all that. So there's a compromise. So that's why like the Toro is in the portfolio for me now, even though it's not one of my favorite sizes. But what I like to smoke and what sells in the marketplace are two different things, to be perfectly honest. I mean, the blends, I do all the blends based on what I like. And if everybody else likes it, great.
Right.
But the sizes are a little bit,
now is that why you have the Corona size or the 44 ring gauge in the Moonflowers, because that's what you blended?
I usually blend in 50 to 52.
Okay.
Depending on the factory. Usually when I get test blends, it's either going to be in a straight Robusto 550 or a 652. Those are the two sizes that I kind of play with, and then we kind of go up and down from there.
Right.
But personally, for me, if I could smoke one size in perpetuity, it would be 5 5/8 46. And initially, like everything that we did coming out of Crown Hez had a 5 5/8 46 or something close to it coming out of there. Over the years, we kind of stepped off of that a little bit because it was always the loss leader, and we needed sizes that sold, and so whatever. But with Moonflower, I'm like, this is just too good not to put in the portfolio, so I did a 646. I mean, it's kind of like selfish for me to do that, but I think that when people smoke it, they're like, wow, this is fucking great.
Right. And like you said, you tried it in the Robusto and the Toro, blending it, and then being able to add that 6 by 46 or the 5 and 5/8 by 46. Right. Now you made something that you like to smoke size wise, but you're also giving, like you said, a different size to the portfolio for that cigar that like you said, you kind of laid off of for a little while.
Right. 100%.
And I think again, and it's funny because I just had this conversation with a smoke shop yesterday. This guy, the kid that took over, is trying. It's a regular smoke shop. They sell vapes, everything. They have cigars, but the kid that works there is actually willing to learn about cigars. Yes. He's very I went to go buy cigars yesterday, John. I think I talked to the guy for an hour and a half.
That's the kind of guy you want. That's the kind of guy you want working retail.
Sizes and he's like, well, I noticed that this size doesn't sell, and that's when I kind of said to him, like, listen, universally from what I've learned doing what I've done and stuff like that, I said your Robustos and your Toros are going to be your big seller. I said, you're going to have your Gordo smokers. You're going to have your 70 ring gauges. I said, but, you know, he's like, I'm thinking of getting Lanceros. And I said, that's another one that's kind of coming. Yeah. It's coming slowly. It's taking its time.
It's the most popular size that doesn't sell.
I know. And it's crazy, which is crazy because, again, like you said, it goes back to that smaller ring gauge.
Yeah, and Lanceros are a different thing. Like we've done Lanceros as LEs off and on throughout the years.
I noticed Four Kicks had a lot of those too.
Yeah, and it was just kind of like the demand was there, but I haven't done one in a while just because it's just, like I said, it's the most popular size that nobody buys. If you do it as an LE and it's a one and done, people will probably buy it. Right. If you add it to a regular production brand, it'll sit there. It'll just sit there and sit there.
You know, is a shame because when you get to a size like that, and this is what I learned through, not only through COVID, but, you know, talking to people like you and all these other company owners, blenders, is, you know, that Lancero is where you're really going to get a lot of that flavor profile from the cigars. Because of the smaller ring gauge, it's not that much tobacco. You're really getting...
You're getting most from the wrapper, really. You really can't play that much with the filler and a 38 to 40 ring gauge.
Right.
You're getting most of it from the wrapper, so it's just a different ratio. But the problem I've always had personally with Lanceros is I just don't have the patience to sit there and babysit them. And you really have to pay attention to that cigar, and you're constantly touching it up, and you could be relighting it. It's a commitment, and it's not something that I typically enjoy. But I mean, there's some people that I think some people like to say they smoke Lanceros because it makes them look like some elitist aficionado. Like, I smoke Lanceros, you know, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's great. Give me a fucking Corona.
Exactly. You know,
John. So we are winding down here, my friend. I don't want to tie you up no more. I appreciate you coming on.
Yes,
appreciate you guys as well.
Shout out to you coming on, my brother, and
my pleasure. Anytime.
Moonflower sells because I need to get my hands on.
Once they eventually hit stores, I'm going to try to get as many as I possibly can get my hands on.
Man, I would send you guys pre-release samples. It's funny because people were hitting me up on social before we went to the show and said, "Hey, can you give me a sample? I want to try it." I'm like, I would normally be jumping at the chance for you to try it. I'll bring back samples from the show. We took 1,000 Robustos to the show, came back with 0. So I don't even have a Moonflower to smoke. I'm waiting patiently like everybody else in America.
Well, God bless you.
I mean, that's a good thing to have, though.
You.
I guess. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Have a good day.
We can't thank you enough, sir.
You as well. Cheers, guys. Have a great weekend.
Cheers.
All right, later.
And there you have it, guys.
And just so you know, also, shirts sponsored by Four Johns Apparel.
Shout out to Four Johns.
This is your wrapper shirt, your Connecticut, Habano, Corojo, Maduro, and Cameroon, which Corojo is what the Moonflower is wrapped in.
Mine says we still smoking cigars.
Yours says together we smoke cigars.
Correct.
They have other shirt. They had a shirt with sizes on it. There was a misprint, miscommunication. It's okay. I'm sure that'll be going back up. Also, go check them out pretty soon. You will probably see a shop for Turnbuckles and Stogies merchandise. I got a design I think is going to be perfect for them. That you know, that I know. Oh, it's raining outside, guys. That's awesome. But yeah, I want to thank John for coming on. It was a blast. I had a lot of fun. He always is great to talk to. And
this week. Oh no, this week
we got
Rick Rodriguez.
Yep. So by the time you guys see this, we probably would have already had Rick Rodriguez on, because this probably won't drop till another week or so.
Sounds good.
Just stay tuned to the interwebs. Yes, interwebs for the.
Get on your phones.
For the release times. I'll set a premiere date for you guys so you guys can watch it. But as always, John's a great interview. As you see, we're not smoking the Moonflower. He's not even smoking the Moonflower because he's got none, which is a good problem to have.
It is, but it sucks.
It just sucks that it's taking so long through customs. And again, that's when you're dealing with cigars and countries like Nicaragua and stuff like that. And, out of anything coming from out of the country cigar-wise, that's a problem that you tend to run into.
Yes.
And I think that's where it's a lost art of, not a lost art, but lost on some of the retailers and consumers of like, why is this not out? It said it was going to be out. Listen, that's stuff out of the manufacturer's control. That stuff out of the brand owner's control. That's unfortunately, they pay an agency to do that. And you can't blame the manufacturer, nor can you blame the company that's making the brand that owns the blend, whatever you want to call it. You can't blame them because at the end of the day, they're not there physically doing it themselves.
Correct.
And that's, I think, what a lot of people tend to forget sometimes.
I agree.
You know, and again, it's always a pleasure to have Jon on. You know, we got to film him during the day because you heard it here on the weekends. He turns it off. He doesn't smoke. He's with his family. And again, that's what we do here too. You only see us on Sunday for the show, and then you don't see us after that until Monday night, you know, sometimes Tuesday. You don't even see us on the weekends, really. We're kind of out and about, or we're sitting at home, spending time with the family, you know, winding down from the work week, whatever.
Family's number one, biatches.
So,
just saying.
Also, coming up after that, after Rick, we would have had probably Exile and Quesada on. And mid-June is the big interview that I was able to land.
We got DuPont.
We got Les Man from ST DuPont Lighters, which is the one I'm using now, and has been my go-to lighter since I've gotten it.
And we got, what's his name coming on?
I said, yeah, Quesada. We got Drunk Chicken. We got La Vega Cigars. We're booking into July.
We're booking into July. Anybody wants to jump on?
Well, one date is already taken in July.
Send us a DM.
So, but listen, guys, we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to smoke a cigar and spend a little time with us and Mr. Jon Huber. Remember, get your crown heads. Smoke crown heads, because you ain't going to be disappointed. Watch Turnbuckles and Stogies. Go to 4 John's Apparel. Get your merchandise. They make cigar merchandise. They make cigar smokers merchandise for the average guy or something like that. Go pick up your Turnbuckles and Stogies merch, which will be debuting there pretty soon. Yeah, listen, guys, thank you for tuning in. We're grateful for all you guys watching, as always. Reviews and stuff will be coming soon to the channel. You'll be seeing a lot of new stuff. You'll be seeing a lot of new quality camera footage I'm working on getting. So again, guys, listen, it's been fun. It's been real.
On that note,
it's been another episode
peace.
Of Turnbuckles and Stogies podcast. And we will see y'all on the next one.
Deuces.
Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.